Hello everyone, welcome back to Fairview once again at the Aspen Grove Industrial Spur. And because it's the Easter weekend, I'm off for a week now, and so I'm getting on with a few jobs. Alright, so let's first of all have a look at some scenic developments. I'm trying to be very strict with myself this time. The ongoing learning curve of creating a good model and an operational model, I have to kind of hold myself back all the time from spending too much time doing the thing I love, which is which is making buildings and doing scenery, and make sure that I get the bits I don't like so much, like the benchwork and the electrics and things, all functioning properly. But I thought I would allow myself to focus on this area. So this is kind of me treating myself. A signature scene which I had in my mind right from the very beginning when I first decided I'd develop this offshoot from the main layout. It's inspired by the layouts of some of the big people out there, Pelle Seerborg and Lance Mindheim and others who've done great work with small layouts and lots of details. First of all, I have finished now the detailing of this pike stuff kit. I've called it Atlas Flooring, a small retail showroom, but I thought just for a little twist I would imply that it's fallen on hard times. So it's been taken over by a kind of a leasing company, and they've put up some signs and things to try and attract new custom, and I quite like that. The layout sort of, then there's going to be the level crossing, which you've seen before, but you'll notice that I've added, oh, that's twisted around. I've added now these Woodland Scenics ready-made wire telegraph pole kits. So that's quite a nice addition. Need to just tweak the wires a little bit, I think, but that's quite good. And then in the background I've actually pinched that bungalow from the main layout downstairs. It's not going to stay there. I'm probably going to scratch build a very simple little residence which will then sit opposite the Domino's pizza. Maybe if I just pan around quickly. Okay, you can see there's Domino's there. That's one of the Summit kits. When I got it secondhand, I didn't even realise it was one of the Summit kits. That's got to be fine details and things as well. So this is an area that I'm focusing on, and I'll try and do some more work, get some basic groundwork in place, maybe during the course of this week. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, so the next thing to show you is just some work I've been doing on some freight cars, doing some basic weathering with my cheap and old airbrush, with mixed results, I have to say. None of these three cars are quite finished at the moment, but I'm just trying to practice the techniques of doing some basic fading, of putting layers of dust onto the wagon. Sometimes it's a bit much. I've also been building here a bundle of rebar metal ties to go onto that bulkhead car, and then this tanker at least is the one which is probably finished. I'll call it done for now at least. I'm going to be using it for the Univar chemical industry, so I've labelled it up as carrying chemicals and put some graffiti and dirtied it all up. And I'm trying really hard to make sure that anything that's running on the layout now at least in terms of rolling stock, wagons and so on, is weathered to some degree. Okay, so the last thing to show you here is I've added a very narrow extension to the front of the layout here at the far end. So in the background here is Univar Chemicals, which is still very much a work in progress. Here we've got ABC building supplies, lumberyard and various other items for the construction industry. And if you remember, this was the line, the spur for the transload facility, and I was very nervous about the fact that the track was right on the edge of the baseboard. In fact, because this is still not fixed, look, you can just see this in fact is the line of the original baseboard. I decided in the end, because I had a bit of room to play with this shelving underneath, that I would just add, what is that, about sort of 12 to 15 centimeters in front. That allows me anyway to kind of theatrically stage my plastic pellet tank car here, and it just means that anything coming down this spur, even if there were some kind of derailment, it wouldn't end up crashing off the front of the layout. So I'm quite happy with that. I've also decided not to add a second spur. I did think long and hard about it, but for whatever reason now I thought I wouldn't. There we go, very quick update for this evening, Easter Sunday. I'll probably try and come back later this week with something a bit longer and a bit more in depth, showing you some operations for the first time. So I hope you've enjoyed that very quick update. You know the deal now. Please do click the thumbs up button if you've enjoyed watching this particular film, because they say that that makes a difference to algorithms and things. And if you're not a subscriber yet, then it'd be really great if you could click on the subscribe button to you know, keep up with all the developments that are going on with my layout. I'm not even going to finish with a gratuitous shot of a train running this time. I'll build up to the operations video later in the week. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Happy model making, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye bye.